I don't know if you've been watching the recent AI boom, but it has been going crazy. Everyone is posting videos on it. Everyone is talking about platforms like ChatGPT and how they can make you millionaires. And honestly, they're not really too wrong about it. There is a lot of truth to what these people are actually saying. And today I'm going to go over a couple of these tools and businesses that you could start from using them. But before I start this video, all I ask is that you smash a like so I can keep making these videos for you. Now let's take a quick dive into some of the ways that you could benefit and what tools to use to benefit during this AI boom. And the first thing I'm going to start off with is graphic design. This is something that's going to have a crazy amount of innovation over time. And as AI progresses, it's just going to become more and more mainstream to use a tool like Midjourney. If you don't know what Midjourney is, it's essentially a tool that allows you to create images based on text that you put on the screen. So for example, I'm going to type in, imagine a bluebird in an ocean, and then give it about 30 seconds, it'll generate you a couple of variations of that one image. This tool is going to be massive for people who do graphic design. And for example, you could even sell these services on an Upwork type of platform like Fiverr. And if you want to make a Fiverr account, you could help boost the SEO ranking by going on ChatGPT and typing in, write me a catchy hook for a Fiverr listing on pictures of birds. Simple as that. You know, you could also dive into other niches. I'm not going to get too into this because this is one that I've been seeing everyone talk about, and it's getting kind of redundant at this point to keep mentioning it. But before we move on, I saw this really cool video on some guy who actually created an entire website start to finish using the same tool I was talking about before. For example, I actually created a miniature site that I could show you and go a little bit deeper into it. And all I really did was go on ChatGPT, asked it to create me a couple ideas for a website. It did just that. And I moved what I got from ChatGPT over to a tool called Midjourney, and it was able to make me 4 different variations. And if you're a graphic designer, you'll know that this is going to save you a lot of headache. Typically, people use tools like Dribble, which is essentially just a big platform where a lot of these artists could share their UI design or various other art. But this tool allows you to streamline the process so you filter out all the garbage before you even see it. So for example, you could even code the website yourself using other tools. I don't know, ChatGPT's limitations on creating websites and such is kind of outdated since it is only based in 2021. And in terms of the recent technology that has been coming out, it's pretty outdated at this point. So for example, you could create websites using non-coding tools like Wix or Squarespace, and you could even base your business off of just building websites on these type of platforms. And think of these AIs as a tool, and you're going to be essentially the builder and making the entire process. There's always going to be some form of error whenever you're working with UI, especially since it's currently in such a early stage. It's going to take a bit of tweaking before it really gets it right. And another way that you can benefit off of the AI boom is get into content creation via AI. If you don't have a channel idea, ask ChatGPT to give you 5 channel ideas in your niche. It's simple as that, and just pick whichever one works the best with you. And from this, you have a couple of different variation options. So say for example, you can make an AI YouTube channel. You're able to generate entire scripts for these videos. Maybe you make educational video content and you just want to put it into ChatGPT. It'll generate you an entire write-up for a script for a YouTube video. You add whatever extra details, make it sound nice, and throw it into maybe a tool like Quillbot, which essentially is just a grammar tool, or think of Grammarly, for example. And from there, you could create entire talking head videos using another tool called Synthasia. You're able to put an entire script in. And for example, I actually threw a couple of these talking head type of videos onto the screen so you could see the insane amount of quality that's in this. And you could create an entire YouTube channel based on these talking head videos. Obviously, you throw in a little bit of video editing, and boom, you have an entire YouTube channel, which basically just took you a couple clicks. Although this is not fully automated, at some point, I'm willing to bet that there's going to be people who make these fully automated YouTube channels. And there's actually something very similar that is going on right now. If you have been watching anything to do with live streams lately, it has been the talk of the town. And that is an AI live streamer called Neurosama. If you don't know who they are, it's essentially just an anime girl who plays video games like Minecraft and Osu. And at the same time, she answers chat, she makes jokes, and it's machine learning, so it's able to process information, so it learns from that information, which is insane. This one is going to be a bit more tricky for you to figure out, and I'm not saying I know any specific tools, because I'm willing to bet if this tool existed for the public, everyone would be using this right now to start maybe 10-20 anime AI streamers at the current moment. And not even to mention, if for example this was in the adult industry, it would pretty much change the entire landscape. But for tools like this, if you're able to figure figure out an entire way to program something like this, or figure out a way to get something similar, you could even sell these AI streamers. So for example, you start a business, you have the entire coding to create an entire AI streamer, you run it on your servers, and you're able to sell to companies maybe $1,000 a month to give them their own AI streamer. And for companies that don't know how to code, and for companies who just want to get into the streaming space, this could be very enticing for them. Or even yourself, you could run 10, 20 of these AI streamers, or even figure out other ways to make AI content. For example, you could even make AI Instagram influencers. And actually the face behind Paxson is a digital influencer that doesn't even exist. She has 3 million followers on Instagram. And imagine, for example, you're a company looking to hire some of these models or some of these influencers to promote your pages, and you could get someone who doesn't age, works hard, has no liabilities in terms of getting sued. It's just a win-win for them. So if you're able to figure out and create some of these AI influencers, you're going to be making a hefty bag, especially if you're able to market to some of these companies and sell the influencers' likeness to these companies. It's honestly going to go a long way for you. There's some other similar influencers as well that are doing this. I know that there was this one rapper one. I'm not exactly sure what the name of that one was, but if you guys could let me know in the comments, I'd appreciate it. But essentially, AI is just going to revolutionize the way that we consume content. For example, if you Google a specific thing, you might get 20 different results with different answers. But if you could ask a simple tool like ChatGPT in the future that question, and it streamlines the process for you, it'll remove a lot of the time wasted from going on Google and searching between a million different articles to find the right answer. And that's what leads me into the education side of this video. And I know what you're thinking, how is education going to make me money? Essentially, you could learn any skill for practically free using tools like ChatGPT. For example, if you're trying to learn a little bit about real estate, you could say, create me a course on how to learn about real estate from start to finish, and it will create you an entire course. Obviously, there will be some limitations, like I said, but as this evolves, it's just going to become more and more advanced. There's also a really good video by Graham Stephan where he actually learned from ChatGPT to create an entire game from scratch, which itself is an impressive skill. There's companies who pay thousands and thousands of dollars per month for people to develop games. So if you're able to use a tool like this to pretty much learn how to do it for free, along with helping you do some of the code if you get stuck, it'd be a massive help. And for example, if you want to learn on top of what you're already learning, say for example, you're in college, there's going to be things that you could ask ChatGPT that it's just going to spit you out. And typically the curriculum changes over time. So if you ask your teacher a specific question, they might not know the exact answer because they're limited in terms of what they know because of what they've been taught. But something like AI could sort of remove this limitation. So you could ask that any questions that you don't have the answer to via a teacher. And obviously, I'm not saying that this is going to change education entirely. I'm just going to say that it's going to help you in the learning process for specific things, and it will allow you to learn on your own time instead of being stuck from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. in a college class. And even if you're like 15 or 16 watching this video, you could take this right now, start doing other people's homework, and essentially make an entire business off that. Obviously, you're going to want to throw into tools like Quillbot, make it sound more human, sort of change some things, maybe even add some errors. And hopefully your teacher doesn't sue me after this video. And also, this does tie into the next topic, which is selling information. And I know everyone hates courses, but it is something that has to be talked about because there is an insane amount of money in education, and there are people making tens of thousands of dollars selling just online courses. There's a really good video by Dave Dagger that goes really into this, and you're able to create an entire course just based on information that you ask ChatGPT. For example, let's say that we're making a course on how to make butter, and it will generate you an entire list of all the steps for making butter, and from there add your expertise, change a couple things here and there, throw it in a tool like Grammarly or Quillbot, and just like that, you'll have a perfect write-up of an entire course that you could sell for $19.99 per month and make a nice bag. And you could even throw this entire text right up into a tool called Tome, and this essentially is just a PowerPoint or Google Slides type of AI where it's able to create all of these presentations, take other design wise, it's able to make it look super nice. And even if you want to add some pictures of specific things for the course, you could get non-copyrighted images based off of Midjourney and ask it to create you a stick of butter thrown into a pan, and boom, as simple as that, you'll have a nice picture of butter in a pan. And just like that, you'll have an entire course to sell. And there are thousands of people who are willing to just buy information. They don't feel like learning it for themselves. They'd rather pay people for it. And basically, you're just capitalizing on the education that you're selling. And with a lot of this AI, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Everything I covered in this video is essentially just the start to a lot of it. There are so many different ways that you could use this and pair different tools together with each other. Like I just said, for the recent courses, for example, we paired 3 tools together to get an entire course that you could sell on a platform like Udemy. And this is not even counting the thousands of AI bots that are currently being built off of platforms like ChatGPT and others. So make sure you guys take this as an opportunity to learn. And as always, see you guys next time. Peace.